Hi guys, I'm Pam
And I'm Mark.
I'm Christina.
and we are from North Star Medical Consulting. A lot of you I already know, or I've spoke to you. So great seeing you here. And I'm going to open up my screen. I'm going to share my screen. Don't look at all of the things I have open. It drives my family crazy. Oh, I don't want photos. It'll just take a little bit, guys. That's my Canva. That can go away. I thought I did better. You guys can see what I've been doing. I've been creating today. So I have a whole lot of, I'm looking for my PowerPoint slide. And I apologize for this. That's my Zoom. Let's go this way. There it is. And we are going to start our slideshow from the beginning. Okay. Here we go. So thanks again for showing up. And we are here to do our webinar on the essentials of private duty ownership. And what we're going to be talking about today is what it takes to not only get licensing for a private duty agency, but also how to succeed. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. And Christina, are you doing all right admitting people?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
You were so interested, weren't you?
For some reason, it doesn't show up like, so you're in the right place tonight. If you are an experienced clinician, hopefully a nurse, and you've got some years under your belt and are looking for some sort of change, looking around, but needing a challenge. And we're going to talk about owning your own practice today. So one of the things is by taking your skills into the home and getting a private duty license, you're able really to stay as small or grow as large as you would like to. So this is how we built our multi-million-dollar businesses, Mark and I. We will talk more about that as we go along, but thanks for coming again. So your attention, please. Hopefully you've got your cell phones off, your landlines off, your doors closed, your windows closed on your computer screen. You see, I'm not very good at that. And able to really pay attention. This is some really great information. I don't want you guys to miss any of it. So what we do. So we are North Star Medical Consulting, and we're nurses. And we help nurses start their own agencies or their own practices or home infusion therapy. We have backgrounds in home health, private duty, hospice, home infusion therapy. So that's what we do. We are a medical consulting company and ran by RNs for nurses. My name is Pam Taylor. I am a registered nurse. I am an accredited consultant through ACHC. And so I'm an educator. I write most of the education pieces and do all that sort of scripting and stuff. I'm the CEO and co-owner of North Star Medical Consulting. And I have started home health agency, accredited home health agency, helped many, many people start their own agencies as a consultant. I've worked as an administrator, I've worked as a clinician, as a supervisor. I've really done all the roles in home health. And I'm also a certified life coach.
Hello. Hi, I'm Marc Garcia. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for about 34 years. And my background includes cardiac telemetry, emergency room, I was MICN, CEN, then home health for the past 25 years. So I too am an accredited consultant. I have owned several home care agencies from startups, and the home care agencies also included hospice,
Accredited home health.
accredited home health, non-skilled, includes even non-skilled, and I've been boots on the ground for a long time also. So that's really my expertise is the supervising portion of home health, how to get people in line, scheduling, get people out there. So that's something that I certainly can help you with. All right. There you are, Christina. We'll let you go.
Oh, hi, I'm Christina. I have about 5-6 years of home health experience. I did get my wound care specialist education and certification, so that's kind of my specialty. And then before that, I was an infusion nurse, and before that, I worked in women's health. So it's kind of been my goal to stay out of the hospital, to be honest. So to say I was burnt out on hospital work would probably be not accurate. I just never really had any desire to work in the hospital, but I did get, some experience there in nursing school. But yeah, that's my background, and I love home health.
So home health, why private duty home health? And so there's some reasons why people absolutely love home health. And, if you've had the chance to do anything besides home health, especially particularly hospital work, it's just hugely different. And once somebody goes to home health, they usually love it and are very happy with the changes. And that the top 5 things are the flexible scheduling and the autonomy. The home health nurse and clinicians, they all love that kind of autonomy and independence. They like the rewarding relationships between the patient and the families. And there's just special intimacy when you're in a patient's home. You get to know them at a whole different level. Also, as a home health agency owner, you're able to make a huge impact. So in your clinicians or nurses' lives, as well as in families' lives. And the diversity of patient populations or groups. And when you're starting an agency, it's fine to really target that population you love or that group of patients you want to work with. We'll talk a little bit about that tonight, but when you're starting your private duty practice, you're really able to hone in on your passion. So that's why a lot of people are going for private duty home health. And nurses are leaving the hospital like crazy. And I don't have to tell you guys this, COVID's just made it worse, but, hugely understaffed. Mark and I have gone through it. It, was just awful. We're not being paid what we should be paid. The acuity of the patients is just getting higher and higher and higher and higher. And there's a lot of abuse. They say nurses eat their young. I think we've all seen that. And then lack of adequate response from administration. And I think a lot of that just has to do kind of with that corporate mentality. So, it's kind of nice to get out of the hospital. When you're running your own agency, you're able to make choices and decisions quickly and without the bureaucracy and the red tape. So nurses are loving to come over to home health. Home health is growing leaps and bounds. And that's some of the reasons why.
Pam, I'm not seeing any of your slides on my end. So
Okay.
I don't know if everybody's experiencing that, but all I'm seeing is your open browser here with the different.
Yeah, thank you for letting me know that. I'm going to end show. I'm going to, thank you. It says that I'm screen sharing.
And I do see your screen, but what I see is basically just
How's that?
Sandy says bump to everyone, same here. So yeah, all I'm seeing is like your PDFs and your the files to view them, but they're not open.
Yeah, so apologize for that, and thanks for letting me know about that. And I'm usually a little better about closing all my stuff out. And I'm glad you told me, because I have some really nice.
I know, I saw them. There's some really good info on those. I would hate for people
Yeah.
out on that.
All right. Well, I'm going to, Mark, do you want to chitty chat a little bit while I work on this stuff? Why don't you tell us his story? Mark is great at telling stories.
I won't tell you a story, but I will tell you about my story, which is not at all interesting, but it makes up for it because it's going to talk a long time. Now I won't. But Pam was talking about how we all know, maybe most of you know, that working in the hospital can be a little tough. We had a little joke, and in the emergency room when you work there, if you know anybody that is work there, the jokes can be a little rough around the edges. But anytime somebody would come in, and what I mean by somebody, one of the other nurses, and they said, that got called again to work on my day off. And they felt so bad when they had to say no. And we would say, if we were on our way in and we got in a car crash and passed away, they would just put a little whiteout on our schedule and they would get somebody else and move on. They wouldn't even think about it. That's a little bit harsh, but of course it's the emergency room, and you start feeling that way. Now, the reason I went into home health is I started having a family. I was working 12-hour shifts, and on the days I was not working, it seems like all I was doing was trying to recover. So I just went into home health just to have a normal life, but I was going to go back to the emergency room, just do a home health while my two girls were getting a little older. Well, heck, that was, I was in home health for 25 years. So I did truly find where I think I belonged. You can kind of set your schedule. You can have some say in a person's care. And two, you can not miss out on some of those things that working 12-hour shifts in the hospital that you'll miss out in. Kids' softball games, kids' plays. So that's kind of a real, just basically a campaign for home health. But now when you add the component of being an owner of the campaign, of the home health, that just adds a whole new group of more benefits. And I'll just be blunt: financial security, obviously, for your family, but something maybe even a little legacy, something that family can carry on when that chapter is done for you. So I like that's always interested me, and that's always what I wanted to do. So it's just amazing that you are good. It's amazing that you can do that even in nursing. So how does it look?
Looking good.
Yay.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I'm usually
Oh,
better. There he is.
you know what? I don't know who chose
Storytelling.
that.
I love that picture.
Or two, what I was doing to make that picture. But
and look how cute she is.
Let me just see if I covered everything on, oh, there you go. You were talking about this?
Yeah, so here's our burnout nurse pictures. You guys, I spent a lot of time on these pictures and I love doing this. So I'm glad you let me know that you weren't seeing it. So different signs and symptoms of burnout are emotional and physical exhaustion, feeling apathetic about helping others, constant dread or panic about work, loss of appetite or loss of sleep, or overeating and oversleeping. It could go either way, and increased anxiety and depression. So I just want you to take a minute and just think about for yourself, where are you on the burnout scale? And I can tell you as a nurse, I burn out several times, probably end of every work week. But, something to think about, keep a pulse on, is where you are on that burnout scale. So here's my story. As I told you, I'm a registered nurse. I went into nursing late. I was 30 years old and I had 3 kids, single mom, and I worked a lot. And of course, as you start as a nurse, you're doing a lot of night duty. So I was working on a telemetry floor for about 3.5 years and was having to do shift work. And also I was looking around, looking at the other floors, trying to see where I wanted to call home. So I spent a lot of time in the ICU, and I tried mom baby. That was pretty bad. Tried pediatrics, not for me. And eventually ended up in the ER and trauma. And I super loved that. It was super fast paced. It was a county hospital, but eventually I really, really burned out and got very, very tired. And about this time, my kids started flying the coop, and I got, what do you call that? Empty nest. I empty nested, and I didn't think that would happen, but I did. And I was kind of lost. And so I didn't know what to do with my life. I wasn't particularly happy in my big home alone and working in a county hospital. And so I thought, I wish I could go somewhere else, do something else. And so on my screen, true story, I put this picture of Morro Rock. Remember, Christina and Marc, I've told you this.
Yeah.
And I put that on my screen, and because this is a place that I love so much and our family always goes here and we vacationed here. I'm not kidding. Within a year, I'm living here. I'm on the Central Coast now. I, got into home health. Home health has been my life. I love home health. I am all about home health. And additionally, I met the love of my life.
Another picture that I don't know if I was
and that is at Morro Rock.
I already talked about my story, but again, I mostly went into home health just as a necessity to have better family time, and then found out that I loved it. I too was living in the valley, central valley.
Very hot, 112 degrees.
The company I was working for opened up a new agency in where we live now. If you have ever opened or started a home health company, I can't tell you it is tough, but when you're the worker bee, it is tough. It really, really challenges you, but it's great. You can still set your schedule and such, but to open up agency and be an owner, that's a whole other level that your mind starts expanding. So one day I was just working and a friend of mine was opening up an agency. He thought about it, and he asked me to be the clinical soup or administrator at clinical soup, I think. And I said, well, tell you what, I'll help you out, but now that's not for me right now, because I remember opening that up. But then he came back to me and said, why don't you join us and start a company? And that's when I guess what they say, my mind's blown. Really, that's possible. I can do that. And that started the journey for me. And it's been a great one ever since. So I don't know if this is a time if you want to talk about it later, but fast forward to now, it's allowed me to take some time off. I had 2 grandkids and I spend time with them. Heck, time off, I wrote some scripts, played piano, guitar, and traveled. And there is
We've had a sweet life.
some benefits. So there are many benefits to this. So
Christina, do you have a story?
Let's see, do I have a story? No, initially when I went to school, I got my BA in human development with a concentration in health services. And I found that if I didn't get like my MSW or get a master's in something else to further that, I couldn't really do much with it. So that's kind of when I started looking into nursing. Although I think nursing has always been on my mind before that, but that's how I decided on that route. And then when I was in nursing school, like I had mentioned before, I did med surg. You go through all the different floors when you're in nursing school, and nothing to me really spoke. Nothing there. Psych was kind of like too much for me, and ICU seemed seemed a little sleepy for me because there wasn't too much action going on. Anyway, so I knew a lot of people in home health and family in home health, and everybody told me, oh, home health is where it's at. And I shadowed a home health nurse in nursing school, and I loved it. And that's how I ended up in home health. I had to get a year of experience first. So, I did that. But the thing that I really do love about home health is you do have the flexibility, you do have the autonomy. And, watching Pam and Marc do what they've done with home health, and not just being the worker bee and growing a business and thinking outside the box and just being able to create the life that they want. It's pretty inspiring to watch. So yeah, home health is where it's at.
Home health is her jam.
It's my jam.
All right, we're gonna do a few success stories. We like those. This is Kathy Ingalls Hefney, and she is a nurse that loved home health for a long time, got away from it, and decided she was going back in and going in. And she started her agency. She worked with us. She's waiting to get her accreditation. She's waiting for Joint Commission to come out and get her accreditation, but she's in line, and she's a winner chicken dinner. Here is Yvonne, and Yvonne, chronic care case manager. She's got great nursing background. She started with us as well, and we took her through the program. And yeah, I really enjoyed working with her. She is actually almost my neighbor. Yvonne lives very, very close, but she's going to start a very small private duty where she's doing case management, and she'll have her employees go out and manage chronic disease patients. So that was her business plan. Here's Andrew Mueller, who we love, and
a righteous dude.
We love him. So he's an RN, but he's also an acupuncturist. And so he's very kind of, I'm not going to call him hippy dippy, but kind of hippy dippy. And he's doing his own practice. And, this allows him with this licensing to actually go into patients' home and, fully accredited, licensed, insured, all that. So that's what I love about getting your accreditation or your licensing. Whatever your jam is, whatever your passion is, you are now licensed to take it into the home. So here is a very interesting individual. Here's Regina. Regina was administrator in a hospital, in Kentucky, and she was also been a DON. She is super, super smart. And she got away from hospitals and tried home health, and she's been there ever since. So that's where we came across her, was in home health, and have worked with her. And she's a great individual as well. And Linda Savage, love her. She is total integrative. Infusions, high dose vitamin C for cancer patients, very hands-on. She's also got her license as a massage therapist. So, licensing like that allows her to go into the home and do things. And that's what I want you to think about today, of what you can actually take into the home with a license. Oh, she is right around the corner.
That's right,
too.
our hometown. Yeah.
This is Amber. She's wonderful. She's a very, very smart nurse certified nurse anesthetist. I have a very hard time saying that, but her jam is sickle cell. She has a son with sickle cell. And so she is in the Valley right now, but she plans to relocate in Los Angeles. She's gone through my program, and she's going to start working with the sickle cell population. So that's her passion, and that's who she wants to work with. And so getting this license will allow her to do that. Okay, industry happenings. So what's happening in the industry right now is it's amazing. There's a lot going on right now. The shift is always been for years and years. We've heard it since nursing school. Patients are getting sicker. There's, hospital stays are shorter. People are living longer. The baby boomers, all of that is going on without a doubt. And then COVID happened, and which really tested the systems. And so what has happened is, there was a huge drop in skilled nursing facilities, assisted livings. Everybody started going home. They didn't want to stay in the hospitals. They didn't want to stay in congregate living situations. So they went home, and they're staying home. They're not coming back. They figured out ways to make it and how to make it happen. So, when someone's spending $50, $60, $70 plus $1,000 a year, they're now back home, and they're saying, okay, how can I stay home with that money? And the answer is private duty. Or
just to add to that, with home health, before COVID, telehealth was kind of, it was going, but it just didn't have the traction that probably everybody thought. Now, this is before COVID. Fast forward to COVID, one of the few things that benefited from COVID is that telehealth now is very accepted, encouraged, and there are ways of monitoring people, patients at home with less face-to-face contact. So the big push now is monitoring. So that's another part of home health that, if you haven't thought of that can be helpful.
Yeah.
And
so skilled facilities are down to 80% still, and assisted livings are 82%. So, at one time everything was 100%. Couldn't keep those places, they were just packed. But yeah, that's what's happening in the industry now. And home-based care, this is kind of what I'm saying. COVID really made us take a look at the way we were doing things and seeing how we could do them differently. There's been a movement for skilled nursing at home and hospital at home. Those movements have been going on for a while. Those are expedited. Big business is now getting behind those. And if you look at the stock market, the stocks on these agencies have just grown. The agencies are getting gobbled up by the bigger companies. So, people love starting these agencies because they're able to sell them now with a very nice profit margin. So, you can also take a look. Oh, I'm going to come across that here in a minute. Here's another thing that's going on with Amazon. Actually, it's a bunch of big boys. It's a whole coalition, and it's called Moving Health Home. And they're a huge coalition. I think there's 8 diverse founding organizations. Amazon Care is one of them. Landmark Health, Signify Health. These big companies are like, all right, let's get going. And they're pushing all of this legislation through, and they're starting pilot programs. They're showing that it works. And, you know, when you look at someone like Amazon or any of these big companies that are going into the market, they're not providing clinicians. They're not boots on the ground. Think about Amazon when it started in the beginning. You know, they weren't writing books, they weren't making diapers, you know, they need contractors. And so they need people that are licensed like you in the private duty home health. They need people that are licensed, you know, with some accreditation or at least licensed with the state. So this is happening. It's a real deal. You can follow it on the stock market. You can read it in your business journals. It's the wave of the future. And, you know, it's like Uber. It's like, you know, and all these things now that we do for convenience now, home care and home health is that as well. Yeah. Do you get a chance, you guys, look at all this stuff. Amazon went into it saying, let's try it with our employees. And they started doing, like going out and doing flu shots or doing kind of urgent care and stuff like that. And it's taken off. So you want to be one of those people. So Choose Home, they're looking for permanent hospital at home reimbursement. So what is being lobbied for in Congress is an additional $25,000 for a home health patient. So this is for the accredited home health agencies, like what Mark has. They will be getting a huge sum of money to take care of these patients at home instead of the hospital getting it. One of the things they're going to have are RNs and LVNs and home health aides and CNAs and, you know, dietitians and things like that. So, you know, this is another way to get in there as a private duty home health agency, is to contract with those, with the accredited home health agencies. And yeah, you guys should, if you get a chance to watch this stuff, it's super intriguing. Like, it's happening so fast right now. Yeah. So in September, Amazon Care. So there's Amazon Care now. So they have their own product now, and it's in-home services. So you'll go online and you'll start ordering your home care now. It won't take long. So I want to say congratulations, everyone, for being here. Yay. Whatever you're here for, if you're burnout or if you're just looking around, or, you know, congratulations for taking the time for yourself. I know that everybody has busy schedules, and it's July, it's warm, it's summertime. So, you know, good job thinking about yourselves. As nurses, we don't always do that. So there's motivation, and I want to go over the reasons why. Motivation, I like this gal. I don't know why I love her picture, but nursing shortage, overworked, underappreciated. You can get to start feeling like a cog in the wheel. There's the industry explosion, and people want to be in charge of their own practice. So these are some things I want you to think about when you're trying to motivate yourself to have some kind of change in your life. Those are some good motivating factors. And, you know, just imagine for a minute driving your own bus, hanging your own shingle as a nurse, and building legacy, which was really big for me, and building wealth. And, you know, I worked 60 hours a week as a nurse. And by the time taxes were taken out, I just didn't feel like I was ever going to get ahead. I had the 401k and a 403b, but, you know, with the money market the way it is, it's hard for a nurse to get ahead. It's very, very hard. So sometimes you have to think out of the box and think about all these fabulous skills that we have as nurses now and what you can do with them.
One thing that I thought of it, I don't consider myself a businessman. I let other people take care of that part of my life, but I just feel like there's nothing really that will get you ahead in financially in life unless you own your own business. So whatever your passion ends up being, the only thing I could tell you is the old guy in the room is follow that passion, and no better way for a passion to form is something that you've been doing. Use all these skills that you worked hard and sweat and a lot of tears for. Use all these skills, and that could be something that takes you to the next level. Again, but unless you own a business, this is just my uneducated, is no way really to get ahead. And that's the key thing. When you're at the finish line, you kind of need to be ahead nowadays. So yeah. For whatever it's worth.
Amen, brother. So what we were going to talk about is what is needed. And I'm going to talk about left brain, right brain, and expert. And that's the three things you must have to start your agency and to succeed, to get past licensing. And you can get to licensing, but to actually say, I can make it this, these are the things that you need. And I know the left brain, right brain was really kind of overused and over exaggerated. Like people don't have this huge whopping left brain and the right side. But as an agency owner or as any business owner and any nurse, you need to be able to access these different functions and strengths. So some people, I'm just going to use the left brain, right brain because everybody knows kind of what that is, what it looks like. And Mark and I think, relate to this. I'm way more, no. I'm way more left brain than he is.
Yes, and I'm very right
Dominated.
brain. I guess another way is that Pam, I think, would dip her toe in the pool. I try to jump in head first. So sometimes I think the combination between both helps us out. So it's perfect. But some people have right and left brain. So
yeah, and hopefully
for you, if you're listening,
you know, as a nurse, you're having to use left and right brain all the time. So, you know, I just want to talk about that and what those functionalities look like. I'm trying to break this down to starting a home health agency, like skeletally, what do you have to have, like to start one? And so hopefully you've got these traits. If you don't, you need to get them, even if you have to hire it in. But you need that left brain, that administrative side, which I love. And that is the analyzing and the logical side and the critical thinking, somebody that's going to keep your lights on, that's going to make for sure that your insurance is up to date and that you've got good policy and procedure and your manuals are up to date and that you're following regulations. That's that whole administrative side. And you may have a little bit of this or you may have a lot of it. I know when I first went into home health and started, you know, I had to start slow. I had to learn Excel. I had to learn computer programs and software and all of that. But you're going to have to, as a private duty agency owner, you're going to have some administrative function. It's at least 25% of your company, I would say.
But I do want to just say something though. I hear what you're saying about that, but with with your program that you have, I think even if you aren't a big left brain person, you have it pretty bullet pointed out and easy to, I mean, even as a person who's definitely not left brain, I'm more on like Mark's side of things. When I was reading through that, it kind of made me go, ooh, hey, this looks a little easier than, it's not easy, but it definitely, you have it pretty well outlined. So
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just like life, parenting, coaching, consulting. There are plenty of holes to fall in, and it's okay to fall in them. You learn a lot. That's what, when Pam and I first started the first agency, there's some holes that you're going to fall in. Perfect, great, no problem. Climb out, keep on going. But with a consultant, just like, again, like a coach, a parent, there's a lot of holes that you can just walk around just by some instructions. Just walk around them. Doesn't that's not, it makes things so much easier, and get to the finish line quicker. So that's what, another thing that's important right now.
Yeah. And then we've got the right brain. So now for your licensing, you'll have to name an administrator. You'll have to name a director of patient care services or a DON. For most states, that can be one person, and you can say, I'm doing 20 hours of administration and 20 hours of DON. But this is a right brain function, not all of it, of course, but this is more like Mark. And this is a person that's very visual, very spontaneous. They walk in, they read the room, super fast at thinking on their feet. They're the person that clinicians call when they're in trouble, is this kind of right brain person.
It reminds me when we started our first agency, when you start, hey, lights are on, doors open, waiting for that phone to ring. Well, seemed like one weekend we got more than anybody can handle. But the thing you do is, for me, I said, okay, grabbing a bag, getting in the car, and we're getting this done. And again, and Pam was, again, taking care of the paperwork portion, make sure that's right. And we're taking care of people. So again, that's why I think it helps that Pam and I are in this, or we've done that in the past together.
Yeah, we're a pretty good team with that.
But there are many people that can do both.
I've done both.
Yes. Yeah.
I did a startup and did both, and it was a lot.
Ooh, I don't know how you did that.
and I also saw patients. I was a clinician. Of course, we hired people right away to start seeing patients as soon as we started making money, as soon as we started, rolling in the cheese. But it can be done. You need a system, you need a consultant, or you need to go with a franchise. But anyway, any input, Christina?
no, I think you covered it.
Okay.
What's next?
And then you need your expert. And that's, this is your passion. This is your love. This is whatever, you love to do as a nurse. And think about what your expertise is. And this is, as a clinician in home health, you need to be super creative, and, you need to be logical, of course. You need to be a problem solver and intuitive and all of those things, innovative. You need to be able to read emotion. So honestly, if you're thinking about home health, private duty, you really need to be a well-rounded person that does well with people, has some emotional intelligence, or hire clinicians that do. So, but you have to have that piece. You have to have your administrative piece. You have to have your supervisory or DON piece, and then you have to have expert clinicians that are good. If you have those three things and you have systems, you'll make it. Now, the fourth piece that we haven't talked about yet, and you absolutely must have it, and I'll do it on another webinar, but that is marketing. So as soon as you get, your licensing up and running, that's such a huge piece. It's, you definitely have to have that as well. But we'll get into that another place, another time. So everything that you have done as a nurse is really a good thing. You've learned, and nurses often say, oh, I can't be a business person. You listen to Mark, he says, oh, I'm not a business person. Mark is an excellent business person. And, we're just very humble about these things. And we think we're such great, humans and humanitarians that will never be, the Rockefellers or anything like that. But nurses make great business people. I mean, we are super responsible. We are overachievers, we're caring. We are value driven. We are motivated. I mean, it's hard work being a nurse. And so everything that you have done as a nurse has taught you, and I didn't realize it. Did you?
No.
When you went into business, like, I learned that. Oh, I remember.
That is true. Yes.
This hodgepodge of stuff you've been doing really prepares you for the business life.
And I think the most important is working with people. And sometimes those people aren't patients. They're the bank that you're trying to get maybe just a loan. There are the marketers that work that aren't medical sometimes. So you're going to be dealing with a lot of people who aren't medical, and you have to adjust and talk their language and be there for them.
And that's what we do so well as nurses. And then if you're thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, but am I going to be able to do it all? You can. I wouldn't suggest for anyone, if they're considering starting an agency, doing it from scratch at all. It takes years. There's a lot of holes to fall in. Or, you could just burn out. It's a lot. So that is why we have written our program and have created our systems and that sort of thing. So let's talk about what you would like to do. And we've seen some different business models. There's a lot of nurse coaching now, a lot of wellness, a lot of integrative medicine, a lot of holistic, and they're just popping out everywhere. They're all over my Facebook feed. Have you guys noticed how many there are? Christina, have you noticed how many?
I'm sorry, I was reading someone's question, but I don't know if you guys saw it, but we'll put it up later. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was talking about, have you noticed the push? And I think it was COVID. All of these nurses are home and they're burnout and they're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with my license? Don't want to go back to the hospital.
Right.
Hate my job. And by the hundreds, thousands, nurses are becoming coaches and getting into wellness and integrative medicine and holistic medicine, energy medicine, that whole movement.
Home health can be a niche, is that the word? Niche type of business where you can, I like doing IVs. I like doing more of a holistic hospice. You can choose. And at this point, maybe it's putting the cart before the horse. You don't know what you want to do, but there's plenty to do before that. Just for some added homework is just start looking around, just see what other agencies are doing. I can tell you one agency that we started, we just pretty much just did what everybody else was not doing. Or more to the point, we looked at what other agencies are doing and we did it better. This really is a business. I think a lot of times people feel like home health, it's just a compassion, it's giving, and it is, but it's also a business. So you have to look at it as a business and see what other agencies are doing and do it better, and see what agencies aren't doing and then start doing that.
See, it's a good business.
But something will speak to you, I guess, as they say.
So I did an agency that was integrative. I loved it. We hired nurses that had an integrated background, had a registered dietitian who was super integrative. Our therapist, everyone was integrative. Our social worker was integrative. And I love that. And I think it was very well received. And that would be my passion. I don't think good medicine comes in a bottle. I think, we're multifaceted people. And so, follow your passion, your belief. Here's, maybe you like pain management or you like IVs, chronic disease management. Some people love to work with diabetics or COPDs or CHF. You can go for, that's the beauty of a private duty agency, is that you can go for your passion, what you do really well at, and hang your own shingle, drive your own bus. You can do that as a nurse instead of waiting for somebody to bring the cheese to you. Go out and get your own cheese.
Nice. I'm going to put that on a pillow.
More passions. So of pediatrics, that is, I don't know any area that isn't dying for pediatric home health nurses. It's just, I don't know why.
Yeah.
You can't find pediatric home health nurses.
Yeah. I think for some nurses, especially nurses, for some nurses, it's very intimidating. Pediatrics are. So
Yeah, I don't want to do peds.
I'm speaking for myself.
My heart hurts. My
Yes.
heart hurts. Yeah. So I was, when I first went into nursing, I was going to be pediatrics. I was horrible. I cried the whole time. So I'm not a person that would go into peds, but there's fabulous pediatric nurses that love what they do. Thank God for them. There's programs. Most states have a newborn infant program, and that is a Medicaid funded program where a nurse goes out and she's got a little set of scales. She goes out and she weighs the baby, makes for sure the baby's breastfeeding or bottle fed correctly, and follows almost like a case management. That's another kind of niche. Pregnancy, definitely a niche. Lactation specialists. I would be horrible at any of these things, but. And hospitality, some nurses love tucking patients in. And, they love the whole, I had a nurse who's fabulous that I mentored, and she'd be like, come on, let's clean this patient up. And she was an RN. She was brilliant. We worked in trauma. She liked getting her patients and cleaning them up and dressing them and tucking them in. And she had so many skills and passions, and she was brilliant, but she loved the hospitality of being a nurse. You can have a fabulous business if you have that kind of passion or that kind of leaning or love. If you're kind of in that space and that's a part of nursing that you loved, you can have a skilled, where you've got RNs and LVNs and home health aides and CNAs. You can also have a non-skilled place where you're going in there and making for sure the home's clean and groceries and fed and all of that. Fabulous business model. People are making tons and tons of money doing that. Wound care. I just worked with a nurse that is amazing wound care nurse, accredited wound care nurse, and she's doing a mobile wound care business. And so, that's out there as well. Anti-aging, boy, these, not that I get any, the fillers and all of that, that's a whole nother jam that you can do with a license.
I just want them to make a vat of something, and just dip me in it.
Yeah,
No?
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Concierge, kind of, top of the line nursing. That's another great. So if you get accredited or you get state license, you can go after the Medicaid programs. We talked about some of this stuff. What I haven't seen is peritoneal dialysis. I've seen it in the home. I see a huge, huge need for a dialysis nurse to get out there and work with these patients that are trying to manage their dialysis at home. Needed.
I saw hemodialysis in the home. I was seeing a patient. I mean, we didn't do the hemodialysis in the home, but one of my patients actually was getting hemodialysis in the home. And I don't know if they went through DaVita and they sent their nurses, but yeah, never had to leave his house.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
There's some people that can do that, I guess.
Yeah, he was very wealthy.
Yeah.
Very.
Study drugs. There is, all these new drugs that they come out with, and I've done studies before, and they're kind of fun. They pay you amazing mileage. They can never find nurses. You just need a state license, and they'll give you this where you have to go draw labs at this certain time. You have to administer medication at a certain time. Getting hooked up with kind of the study drugs is another really super great way to make it in private duty. So it's never been a better time to enter this market. The industry's exploding. There's new reimbursement models for Medicare Advantage is now paying for private duty in the home. That's slow to start, but it's here, it's coming. And the home infusion therapy services accreditation, that's a Medicare funded program. They're paying for state accredited agencies. Our population aging, hospital at home movement, skilled nursing at home, and the convenience generation. People don't want to leave the home. They want things brought in now. We're just getting more, we're just more service oriented. But you need to discover your why. Think about why would you put all this work in? Why would you do this? And if you're considering it, think about these things that I told you that you're going to need, but probably the biggest thing of all that's going to drive you forward is your why. And, for myself, my why was, I felt like I had just given so much to nursing and to humanity. I felt spent. I felt exhausted. And everybody else, everyone's making money at the agency or making money at the hospital, not the workers, but I wanted some of that back, and I wanted legacy. I want my nursing license to have meant something. I want to make change. I love the nursing tribe. I love working with nurses, and I'm excited to get up in the morning. And I wasn't always like that. I drugged to work. I've definitely experienced a lot of burnout in nursing. So that's my why. What's your why, Mark?
Probably family. Just, I guess, to show the kids that you can do whatever you want if you just try and don't give up. And so my going into home health, like I said, I just had 2 girls and I wanted to spend time with them. And so I went into home health, and so that was a benefit. Then it got to the point where they didn't really need me as much, but they needed financial help. So
Needed the dough.
Needed the dough, needed the wallet. So that's why then I thought, started opening up my agency, and it just seemed to work out. So my why is family. So yeah.
Think about your whys. And that's why we wrote this program. It is a program for nurses. I don't offer this out of the nursing realm. I've been a consultant for well over 10 years. So I've worked with a lot of non-nurses, and I don't want to do that anymore. Nurses really do it well. And there's a lot of passion and drive and heart that goes into it. And so I wrote this program actually when COVID started. So I've been working one-to-one and with agencies and just basically word of mouth. And COVID started, and I thought, what can I do? I had just taken 4 years off. We'd sold an agency. I took 4 years off. We remodeled our home. I have a fabulous kitchen. And I said, I want to do this. And we had talked about it, like, this is what I do, policies and procedures and systems. And, that's what I do. So I made it into a platform, a classroom so that's my why.
Not to sound a little prejudiced, but nurses do think different. So they
Yeah.
do. We worked with non-nurses, and they don't have the same, I don't know, personal goal, the goal inside. I don't know what it is, but nurses in general do things a different way. And no matter what their goal is, it's always other people that they keep in mind. And my man cave still needs work.
Yeah, it does.
So anyway, just to add, kitchen's fine, man cave work.
Mark's supposed to be able to do the outside if I got to do the inside. So
We're getting some pushback.
the outside looks really bad, but so nurses are different. We are superbly hard workers. We don't mind hard work. We don't mind getting our hands dirty. Like, we are tough. Nurses are tough. And, we're not whiners. We get it done. And so I love, love, love working with nurses. I love hearing about their backgrounds, what they've done, and figuring out what's your passion and figuring out your market, how you're going to make it. Sometimes you have to start off doing kind of general work that everybody's doing, and then really start focusing on your passion and building your name up. But anyway, I love working with nurses as a coach, as a consultant, running this program. And this is my program, our program. Woo! So we call it Blueprint for Success. And so I have it now for private duty home health, home infusion therapy services. And I have that's where we are. Anyway, we've written these courses, and that is, if you want to take a look at them, you can go to homehealthacademy.teachable.com. And this course takes you through basic building blocks, like, the structure, licensing, where your agency is going to fit in. We go through your brand identity, domain name, website, all that sort of thing, creating your team. Remember how we talked about left brain, right brain, a clinical expert? Who are those people going to be? Are they all going to be you? How are you going to do it? How are you going to manage your day? That's the stuff we do. I've created a system for 13 different printable files or binders, or however you decide you're going to do it. There's well over 100 downloadables where you're just putting your logo in there. And we've got HR, QI, emergency management, everything's in there. All the stuff you come across, from referral to discharge, admission forms, billing forms, HR, like I said. The binders, I don't actually give you the binders. You can go buy these binders. If you want I love binders. I am a binderaholic. But, I was born in the 60s. We use binders. So if you have an agency, you don't really need all these binders. You can do a lot of it electronic, and you can share them and all of that. But I still think in terms of binders, and there's well over 12 or 13 binders or files that you're going to have, big binders. So if I just went out and somebody wanted help with their binders, I would charge them $5,000 just for putting these binders together. So I'm going to tell you the value of the stuff I do. I created coursework. I put a value of $2,500 on it. It's worth way, way, way more than that. It is 14 years of my experience, and it's 10 modules. And we go through the A to Z of starting your own home health agency or private duty. And You go, it's in Teachable. So it's a learning management system. You log in anytime, night or day, and you go through your modules and start creating your forms and your systems. You just adopt what I already have. And I've got a weekly master class, and that is a Zoom meeting just like this. And we discuss things like what we're talking about today and more. So that is another, and I put that value at $2,500. That weekly master class, you have that for 18 months. So after you purchase this program, you have 18 months to complete it. So I'll go through more stuff. That's the Facebook group. And that is an online group, and it's made up of nurses that are in the group, and we're able to post things on there, post questions. Typically I'll put, say I'm working with a nurse from Texas and one from Florida and one from California. I'll put a lot of their documents on there where they can find them, or contact information. We're able to ask questions, things like that. A one-on-one consultation, I tell you, you'll get one, but you actually probably are going to talk to me more than that. But there's definitely a one-on-one, and I like to talk to people after they're already up to the marketing portion. They can come before then, but we schedule that. It's self-scheduled, and we sit down and we talk about, I listen to your passion, your whys, your, where you're going, what you want to do, where you live, what is the going rate of a nurse there, what does your competition look like? We look at business plans. So it's really, we get a lot done in that consultation. We talk business. So that's part of the program as well. Total value is $12,500 when I wrote this. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I also do, oops, sorry, let's go backwards. I also do a mock survey, and that mock survey you're going to love. You schedule it when it looks like close to your survey date. You're going to call me, and I'm going to do a mock survey. I'm going to walk through a survey. It's going to take us about 4 hours, and I'm going to go through like a surveyor will. It will be remotely. And, when your surveyor gets there to license you for your state, they're going to be extremely impressed at your level of knowledge.
The one thing that's so amazing about what Pam does is the fact that you can get a lot of information on what you need to start a home care agency. Trouble is, you'll get very little to none on how to do it. They may just say, you need this binder to say this, or I check that, you need this binder. They don't say what it's supposed to be in there, how it's worded, what they're looking for. None of that information is available. And so you hope, crossing your fingers, that when the surveyor does come, that this is what they're looking for. Sometimes it's not. And it's that's one of those holes that we talked about that, again, Pam can help you around. So
that's the extra mock survey. And I'm saying it's $1,000. It's probably worth more than that. And you can find, you can look at the whole package at homehealthacademy.teachable.com. Remember that you're able to access any of these components on your cell phone, on your tablet, on your PC, anytime, night or day. My Zoom meetings, they are recorded. So you're able to, I post them on the Facebook group. So you're able to, if you miss those, you're able to look at those as well. You're able to go back and look at them again and again and again. And that is that. I wanted to give you guys a treat for hanging out. And so my very last module that I do is a preparation for mock survey. And so I've created a template, a checklist of all the things that you'll need to get ready for a mock survey. All the things that your survey or your state will probably ask you for. So I'm going to email those out to everyone, and you can have those and take a look at what is needed. Hang on to it. It's a nice little value, little bonus just for hanging out with me today. So I'll get those to you guys. Oh, here's what it looked like. Here's page 1. So this is a checklist. I have friends that do surveys for actually Joint Commission and ACHC. And I just got their logs and created my own little checklist of what they're going to be looking for. So I'll get that to everyone that attended today. Thank you, nurses. You guys rock.
Thank you, nurses.
And we're going to get to questions. Oh, if I don't get to your question or you come up with another question, email me at pam@northstarmedicalconsulting.com. If you want to do a discovery call, you want to chit chat with me, we can set that up. Also, if you decide you're going to buy my program, which I hope you do, I have got a private duty starting next Thursday. I have got a home infusion therapy services accreditation starting next Thursday. And then I have a bundled program with both that will start, well, it'll start next Thursday too, if you don't have your license yet. I am starting another HITS accreditation for nurses that have already licensed. So that's coming too. So busy time. If you're interested, I am, you can go to homehealthacademy.teachable.com, but email me with questions. And let's go to our chat and look at questions. 5 years. I see you have a bundle. So Sylvia Select Dubois. So I see you have a bundle. I do. Does your program include everything you need to start? I'm interested and excited. So I would say it has a lot. When you're saying everything, I think it's got everything in the kitchen sink, but it is still a do-it-yourself. It is still your agency. I'm, not charging you $30,000 to fill out your forms or anything like that. I will show you, we'll find out together, depending on what state you're at, where to get your forms, where we'll pull down all your rules and regs. I've got all your policies and procedures that you're able to personalize. Just put your names in there. You're able to throw your logos on all the forms. I've got the systems. You'll have a great understanding of your business model. So I would say in that case, it has everything, but it's still a do-it-yourself. There are doctors and such that pay $30,000 plus to have you fill out their forms and to hire their personnel and to help them find your director of patient care services. I give you all kinds of consulting. I make you understand the business and all of that, but it is still a do-it-yourself project. I hope that helps. Does the teachable.com link have information on the scope of the home infusion course? Yeah, you should be able to go into the homehealthacademy.teachable.com. It'll say start here. It'll show you all courses. If you click on that home infusion therapy services, it'll give you the rundown of what it looks like. And it's 10 modules, like the private duty. It is still the one-on-one consultation and the Facebook group, the whole thing. It's still the blueprint, but it's yeah, you'll find it there. And Mark, let me know if you have any questions. I know we've talked.
No, I like seeing this.
So New Jersey.
Ah, good.
Hi, New Jersey. New Jersey's a state that's a little bit different, but yes, New Jersey has got a little extra requirements on, there's some language on hiring caregivers. And so there's some language for New Jersey that you have to include in your policies and procedures. That's different than any of the other states. They were, I guess, really getting some shady characters. So this was New Jersey's attempt to keep people safe and sane. And New Jersey also, they put kind of a moratorium on the big home health agencies, but you're able to go in as a nurse through the consumer affairs and get your license to practice. You have 1 year to obtain accreditation. And so, yeah, I can definitely walk you through that. But I think, Wanda, you already got, I've talked to you. You've got your New Jersey out there. So yeah, it's time for you to get your HITS or your HITS certification. So Sandy, you agree, nurse businesses are booming. Yeah, we're out there. We're out there. When do you plan on for private duty nursing, and when? So that I'm going to launch another private duty next Thursday. And then that bundled product will roll right into home infusion therapy services afterwards. So we may take a week or two off, but those are 2 10-week courses. So yeah, we're gonna get started right away. 1 week. All right, do we have any other, what year did you guys start?
My first agency was back in, when was that, 2008?
I don't know, I didn't know you then. Oh, your home health agency
Right.
was 2008. Yeah, it was 2000, it was like March
Right.
2008, because we met in 2007.
Yeah.
We actually, Mark did my interview.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And he was like the educator guy. And he did my interview and they hired
those
me.
guys.
One of those guys. I was like, oh my God, I love this guy. But he did my interview and I was hired as a supervisor, and then he left. He just left me. But
That's a little harsh.
yeah.
Leave you.
I was so sad. I was like, I love this job now. Why did you leave? But anyway, I ended up being the director there. But thank you, Sandy. The bundle, Wanda, for both is $4,000. So that's a good price. I knocked $1,000 off when you buy them both. And you can break it down to 2 payments.
I don't know if this is a good time for, or maybe it's not even at all a good time, but this was an actual, I'll tell you now, because I love to hear these questions. It seems like there's a lot of fire out there. So keep up the fire, keep up the fire. But this was an actual conversation I had with somebody during when Pam and I met, but it was with somebody else. And I finally had to tell where I was working, I must leave now. I am going to, begin this agency. Well, I had a conversation with one person. They said, so what are you going to do? And I said, so we're going to start our own home care agency. And I said, isn't it exciting? And she literally said, you're an idiot. I went, whoa, hold on. Just slapped me across the face. And she goes, oh, well, yeah, I guess it's exciting for you, but this is the worst time to do it. Well, to be frank, it ended up being one of the biggest agencies in the
It's
state.
huge.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they're private duty, they're home health, they're
Hospice.
hospice, they're up and down the Central Coast. And
Yeah.
actually, we can't. You guys are probably wondering, well, why don't you just start another home health agency? We have non-competes like almost the whole coastline of California, because we built and bought and sold. So when you do that, one of the things you have to sign is we can't be competitors anymore. So, and we love where we live.
Yeah.
So yeah, consulting's our jam. Well, Mark's still doing his thing,
Yeah.
but
That's the beauty of it. I can kind of pick and choose what I'm at the point where I can kind of pick and choose where I want to do my thing. So.
Yeah. So you guys hang in there. Let me know if you have any questions. I loved talking to you. Totally enjoyed the conversation tonight, and seeing some of your names. I know some of you peeps. So yeah, with that, we bid you adieu.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So it looks like we're still on.